people who are stepping outside just to enjoy some New Year's celebration this evening are going to get wet across northern England and Wales, and there's rain warnings here. That's a sort of band of rain which is currently across Scotland, which is sinking southwards, and it's got some very strong winds associated with it. So the winds are going to pick up across central and southern parts of England, and there's a wind warning in force through the first part of tomorrow and extending throughout New Year's Day. However, these warnings are going to be reassessed this morning by the chief meteorologist at the Met Office. So it's worth checking the Met Office website, because I think they will be updated and the zones will be tweaked a little bit. So the rain warning may extend slightly further north and the wind warning may be slightly earlier. So there's a lot of weather to contend with if you are stepping out.
And at the end of this year is bringing more than just fireworks. It is also bringing flood warnings and storms. So a very wet and windy start to the year. There have been some problems with some New Year celebrations. Let's speak to meteorologist Claire Nazir. Morning to you, Claire.
Good morning, Asma.
It's in terms of Scotland and the weather, I saw, I don't know why, but X or Twitter brought up a tweet that I had last year, which was I'm heading to Glasgow for New Year, and the weather was it was really bad. There were storm warnings. It seems to happen at this time of the year quite a lot.
We are in the windstorm season, but in fact, the last 18 months have been particularly wet and windy, and we've been in the firing line of many depressions and named storms. And this new year is going to be very similar. In fact, there is still an amber warning for rain across the Moray Firth towards Fort William, and there are many flood warnings in force. SEPA have issued those. That's the Scottish Environment Protection Agency. So there will be more flooding. There's been a lot of heavy rain, and the rain continues this morning.
I also heard, because there's obviously been quite a bit of concentration and focus on Scotland, on Edinburgh, because of the Hogmanay celebrations that have been cancelled, the outdoor ones. But I also heard that there were some problems reported in terms of wind speeds in London. Also, I think, was it the south coast of England as well? Where are the trouble spots?
Yes, there's many trouble spots over the next 24 hours. I mean, people who are stepping outside just to enjoy some New Year's celebration this evening are going to get wet across northern England and Wales, and there's rain warnings here. That's a sort of band of rain which is currently across Scotland, which is sinking southwards, and it's got some very strong winds associated with it. So the winds are going to pick up across central and southern parts of England, and there's a wind warning in force through the first part of tomorrow and extending throughout New Year's Day. However, these warnings are going to be reassessed this morning by the chief meteorologist at the Met Office. So it's worth checking the Met Office website, because I think they will be updated and the zones will be tweaked a little bit. So the rain warning may extend slightly further north and the wind warning may be slightly earlier. So there's a lot of weather to contend with if you are stepping out. But interestingly, for the central belt, and I know earlier you were talking about Edinburgh, the weather will improve through this evening in terms of the amount of rainfall, just a few showers, and certainly some dry weather as we enter 2025 there.
Okay, Claire, thank you very much for that. Happy New Year to you. Thank you for coming on the programme all year. That's Claire Nazir. She is a meteorologist, of course.
Given how wet, cold, windy and windy the weather is going to be over the next couple of days, Edinburgh Council are worried enough about this that they've cancelled Hogmanay celebrations this year, much to the dismay of some of these residents.
I have been going to Edinburgh Hogmanay on Prince Street on and off ever since I was about 10 years old. That's going on 13 years now, and never once do I remember the party being cancelled. This is absolutely insane. The weather is pretty wet and windy, but I don't think it's even the worst wet and windy that we've seen in the past decade. But I'm glad that they're trying to keep everyone safe.
I just wonder how much money Edinburgh City Council is going to lose and whether or not they can afford to lose it, which they probably can. But I think cancelling the torchlight procession, probably a safe idea. Cancelling the rest of it, however, I don't really understand how a bit of wind and rain can stop people from having a bit of a boogie on Princes Street. It's just a bit absurd to me.
The weather in Edinburgh has always been pretty rough this time of year, but now it's quite a lot worse than usual. So I'm going to be staying in with my dog and my daughter.
Sounds like a good plan. That is Becca, Bryony, and finally Alistair in Edinburgh. Well, joining me now is Steph Golter, a meteorologist at Square Raindrop. Steph, good evening. Thank you for being with us. How bad is bad in Edinburgh this week then?
Well, it's not just Edinburgh. Many parts are going to have some rather disrupted celebrations, I think, for New Year's Eve. So we've got an amber warning, which, we don't get every day. We've got an amber warning over central parts of Scotland, and then many other parts of Scotland have warnings for strong winds or heavy rain and snow, really, for the majority of Scotland. And then it's in the south, we've got the strong winds, and that works its way sort of into the northern parts of England. I mean, Blackpool's also been affected as well. And then for Northern Ireland, there's also some very strong winds there and a yellow warning. And then later on, as we head towards evening, it's Wales where we see the heavy rain warning. So you can see this system is affecting many parts of Britain and Ireland. Many of us will see our celebrations disrupted, either the travel or maybe the displays, because the winds could be gusting up to 75 miles an hour at times, and that is a big issue if you do have a fireworks display planned, because of course you light them now and you move away, and so you wouldn't want to do that in strong winds. It's just not safe.
Are we heading towards named storm territory here, Steph?
There were rumours that there was a very bad low pressure that was then going to hit us on Wednesday. So this is a system that's kind of rippling over us. And if you get a big ripple, it could develop into quite a big storm. And it did look like there could be another ripple. So New Year's Eve, that's one. This would be another one on the Wednesday, on New Year's Day. And that could have been a named storm. But no, it doesn't look like that one is actually going to be as potent anymore. It's just going to bring us yet more heavy rain. But it just looks like this is just a period of pretty horrible weather.
Right, okay, brilliant, excellent. Steph, thank you for your time tonight, really appreciate it. That is Steph Gadler, who is a meteorologist at Square Raindrop. So you have been warned if you're out and about over the next couple of days for New Year's